The Dyson V11 Animal is an excellent vacuum, but it's expensive. What if I told you you could get an Animal vac for 30% less? Well, the Dyson V10 does have similar features, it has almost the same attachments, and it is a lot less money. So let's test it and find out if this can really be a budget Dyson V11. We're gonna put them up head to head to compare suction, airflow, battery life, head design, and effectiveness on different surfaces to find out if the less expensive V10 is really a discount V11 in disguise. Our goal is to help you find the best vacuum for your needs, so let's get started. I purchased the Dyson V10 and the V11 Animal. And this video is not sponsored. We purchased both of them and tested everything so that we can be as objective as possible. And if you purchase from our Amazon links below, it really helps the channel out. What are the key differences between the Dyson V10 and V11? The V11 has a larger battery. They say it provides up to 20% more suction than the V10 also. It includes an LCD screen, which shows power mode, any blockage and any filter maintenance reminder, and the time remaining on each individual mode. The V10 does not have a screen. The V11 has a redesigned head. It has stiffer nylon red bristles and soft carbon fiber filaments for hard tile. And what separates it from the V10, it has an anti-tangle comb. And the V11 has a new pet hair tool with this updated screw design. It is supposed to be anti-tangle, and we are going to put it to the test with pink rave hair and both cat hair, and now for the first time ever, dog hair. And believe me, the cats I have are very fluffy, messy tenants, and they are way behind the rent on their cat condos. Now, normally I'd ask Ryan to start the test at this point, but he's at a hula hoop competition.
As you can see, I've been practicing.
So for this video, it's just the one nerd. We tested suction and airflow for both vacuums, but we do things a bit differently. You see, some other vacuum channels might give you suction numbers at the highest vacuum setting, but on a cordless vac, you're gonna have a much shorter runtime with the vacuum going full blast. In the real world, I found that I'm doing most of my vacuuming on medium and the low setting. So we tested both vacuums on low, medium, and high settings. The Dyson V10 had a wind speed rating from 16.3 meters per second on low to 37.3 on high. We found the V11 had anywhere from 18% stronger wind speed on low to 11% higher on high. We also tested both vacs at the head with a sealed box. The V10 and V11 were closer this time, but the V11 still edged out the V10, being anywhere from 3 to 10% higher. So Dyson's claim of 20% more suction is almost true at the low setting, but definitely is not true at the highest setting. But nevertheless, the Dyson V11 wins this round. We also tested the suction, and we found the V11 to be 13 to 18% stronger across the board, depending on the setting. At the lowest settings, the V11 showed more difference, which means you can vacuum with more power at the lowest setting for longer than you can with the V10. The V11 takes this round too. Let's talk about weight. This is actually a pretty big consideration when picking a vacuum. The V10 weighs 5.7 pounds and the V11 weighs 6.6 pounds. This is mostly due to its bigger battery and motor. And when you're vacuuming for a short session of 10 to 15 minutes, this isn't really much of a big deal. But on longer sessions, you will begin to notice. The V10 is actually one of the lightest vacuums you can buy. And I think that makes it more likely you're just gonna vacuum more frequently. It's like the old adage, what's the best camera? Well, it's the one that you're going to use the most, which is the one in your pocket, which is your cell phone, because it's light and it's always ready to go. Let's talk about runtime. Dyson says that both the V10 and the V11 will go up to 60 minutes without a motorized attachment. Now, realistically speaking, your runtime is going to depend on what you're vacuuming. Is it hard surfaces? Is it carpet? Is it shag? Are you vacuuming out sand or just pet hair? We tested the real world battery life with no attachment, and we found on the highest setting, the V10 went just a little over 4 minutes, whereas the V11 went 8 minutes and 40 seconds. On the medium setting, which you're going to use the most, the V10 went for 27 minutes, while the V11 went for 38 minutes. The V10 definitely has a smaller battery, and Dyson's claim that the V11 will go 20% longer, we found that to be, mostly true. So that is another notch in the belt for the V11. I wonder if the V10 can actually catch up at this point. Now we found that both vacuums are actually highly effective on hard surfaces. However, on carpet, the story is a little bit different. Here, the V11 actually edges out the V10 yet again. The V10 picked up 36 out of our 40 grams, giving it an effectiveness of 90%. However, the V11 picked up 43 grams, which means it not only picked up the 40 grams I dumped on the carpet for it, but it also picked up the leftover material that the V10 left behind. And I tried really hard with the V10 with multiple passes to get the sand out, so that's the best the V10 is gonna do. Yet another point for the V11. I think we can see where this story is starting to go, but let's talk about hair pickup. We tested the anti-tangle capability with pink rave hair, starting with the V10. Now with very long hair, it's actually very difficult for any vacuum to pass our test. Our party hair was 13 inches long, and the hair got stuck in the V10 just like it did with just about every other vacuum we've tested. We even let the vacuum run for a while to see if the hair would clear, but it didn't. On the V11, we had pretty much the same result. We even let the head run for a while, and we moved it back and forth. Then we tried the V11 with a mix of both longer and shorter strands. And even though it tangled up at first, when we let it run for a moment and let their combs do their magic, there was almost no hair left on the roller. Next, I thought we'd test out some canine hair. Now, we actually don't have dogs, but the cats were very interested. Both the V10 and V11 had no tangles at all with dog or cat hair on hardwood, so we mixed both dog hair and cat hair together and tried to stamp it into the carpet with my super stylish sandals and red socks. Both the V10 and V11 performed flawlessly, picking up all the hair without any tangles. Now both vacuums have the same canister, which means they have the same 0.2 gallon capacity. They're both pretty easy to empty out with a trigger, although sometimes you need to pull the canister off to fully get pet hair out of it. Now, even though my cat tried to ruin the next test by eating all the cereal, both vacuums performed very well, picking up larger bits of dirt. You can adjust the front of the head, allowing bigger bits of dirt to get in. This is a great feature which some less expensive vacuums just don't have. Although these vacuums are both effective, they do require quite a bit of effort to move on shag carpet. So if you have a lot of deep pile or shag carpet in your house, you might consider getting a corded vac. I'm going to call this round a tie. The motor bar head on the V10 and V11 has mostly replaced the fluffy head Dyson was using on some earlier models. It does a great job of picking up dirt and hair from both hard surfaces and carpets without needing to swap heads. Both the V10 and V11 have a pet hair tool to use on kitty condos. Now, my cats love to sleep on these condos. In fact, he just went in. Let's start with the V10 and this older style pet hair tool. The V10 does a great job on pet hair. You can see a lot of pet hair does tend to get caught on these bristles though. However, the V11 has a new anti-tangle screw design that is shaped like a cone. The V10 does a great job, but the V11 pet hair tool gives it just another win. You can see this new anti-tangle screw roll definitely does a better job, and there is no cat hair trapped in this at all, and it just seems a little bit more effective at getting pet hair off of your furniture. This is kind of feeling a bit lopsided now, don't you think? Both vacuums have the same basic attachments such as a crevice tool for use on edges and furniture, a dusting tool, and this dual purpose tool. However, our V11 came with this angle snap-in which attaches to the wand and makes it easier to get under beds without having to bend your knees. Now, because Dyson sometimes changes the tools you get with their vacuums, you should definitely check before purchasing to make sure you're getting the tools that you want. And you can also purchase many of the tools and attachments separately. Both the V10 and the V11 tools are fully interchangeable. Both vacuums have a handy charging dock, but just note that the dock for the V11 won't fit the V10, it's bigger. Good filtration is really important if you've got pets or allergies. Both these vacuums have whole machine filtration, which keeps the dust sealed inside the container. They both trap dirt and allergens down to 0.3 microns. Technically, the V11 is slightly better. In our party smoke test, both did an excellent job of trapping the smoke inside the canister without letting any of it leak out. About once a month, you should be washing the filter, because if you don't clean them, you'll find the suction will degrade over time and some dust might start getting in the motor, and that could have a pretty negative effect on your vacuum. Let's see how our contestants fared in the final conclusion. I've owned both these vacuums for quite a while now, and the V10 has actually been my daily vacuum for over 2 years. It's an excellent overall vacuum, and if you got a lot of hard surfaces, it is perfect for quick pickup. I love that it's so light and it's just easy to vacuum up some pet hair and be done with it in a couple of minutes. And as of the making of this video, it is roughly 1/3 less on Amazon, and the price has come down significantly over the last couple years. And that makes getting into a Dyson product fairly affordable now. And for the record, I've had absolutely no issues with this vacuum whatsoever. However, when I started making this video, I thought the V10 would be really close in all the categories to the V11. But in every objective test, the V11 is clearly a better performer. Yes, it's about a pound heavier, but in every other measurable way, it is actually just a superior vacuum to the V10. And yes, Dyson keeps putting out newer models, and every time they are just a little bit more expensive. But if you've got a mix of hard surfaces and carpets like I do, the V11 is actually my top pick right now for a cordless vacuum. It is my absolute favorite. I'm gonna switch over from the V10 to the V11 after this video. There's another video on screen right now that I know you're gonna love. Please click it and subscribe. My name is Eric. Thanks for nerding out with us.